Today we go from doing the very basics of Rocket League all the way up to learning what pros are doing to help you improve your game. If you guys enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Road to 100K subs. Drop a comment below on what tip helped you improve most for your game. Hey guys, thank you and enjoy the video. Tip number one for you guys. This is a basic one that all beginners should know that a lot of the time you don't think about, and it's gonna help you play faster around the field. When you are driving, you get this and you hit a certain speed. You hit this speed called SUPERSONIC, which is this white trail behind your car. That pretty much means you are going the max speed in Rocket League, other than maybe 5% faster if you have boost and you're boosting while you're in it. If you're driving around this fast, you are just out of control and need to get off the game, right? If I am driving SUPERSONIC like this and I turn out of it, I lose it. But at higher level, you will tend to see players hit SUPERSONIC and they'll do these slight adjustments like this, right? That helps you keep your SUPERSONIC. So if you're driving around, remember, you need to hit SUPERSONIC and then make slight adjustments and you will hold your SUPERSONIC speed. Tip number two, double jumping. A lot of the time you're gonna be watching people a lot better than you getting to the air faster, and you're like, how is this possible? Or maybe even in the same lobby as you. So a single jump, which is lower level players typically use, I would say they do this, right? So they jump and they just kind of float in the air with it. And then let me show you what a double jump looks like. So this is a double jump. A double jump is pretty much when you're using both of your jumps and boosting at the same time. Now, how to double jump? Most people fat finger both buttons at the same time, whatever your boost and jump is. They hold boost, they jump, and then they let go of their analog stick for a split second, and then they jump again so their car doesn't backflip, so it counters it. So that is how you jump quicker in the air, and that'll help you get in the air faster than your ranked opponents at the lower level. Tip number three, have good aerial training because it will translate to your end game. I would bind my air roll, or air roll left or air roll right, and I would just keep constantly trying to aim for a point. So the top left post, go in and go out, right? And then again, I'm gonna go top right this time, and I'm just getting used to the muscle memory of how to do it and what the timing is like. It's hard to get it in your head until you do enough reps of it. So also another way that people train is they do this. If you are on PC, you can have this thing called workshops, which workshops, they have these ring maps and all the kinds of like ways to help you practice this, right? So it gives you objectives of what rings to go through. And this is a good way to help with your aerial training a lot faster than I would say just free play, because you're aiming for more things than just like an open map, right? Tip number four. This is another tip that all players need to know how to do, and it is the half flip. Don't watch that half flip. Let's say, like example, a kickoff happens, right? And you're kind of backwards and you're defending your goal back here. You want to recover fast, and the best way is a half flip so that you're already straight in motion towards where you want to go. A quick tutorial on how to half flip. So the way I look at it is, if you look at a clock, I go from 2 o'clock to pretty much 8 o'clock on the left analog stick. And what you want to do midway through from 2 to 8, you want to hold it for just a second. That way your car gets a flat motion, right? So I get in reverse, I go from 2, I hold it to 8, and then back to 2 real quick. That way my car gets a cut motion where it goes from 2, I'm holding it for a second, it flattens my car, and then I go to 8 and it spins my car, and then I pull it back. That way it can flatten my car back out. I know it might sound confusing, but the best way to honestly do this is just reps. Go to a corner and try to half flip out of it over and over and over. So higher level, every type of recovery is very important. Half flip is something you need to know. Tip number 5 for you guys is wave dashing. What is wave dashing? Wave dashing is when you're jumping around the field, and is another way to recover. And as you guys can probably tell, recoveries are very important. Nowadays, a fast way to recover is to jump off the wall and use your dodge, jumping into the ground, and it can't, besides front flipping, you're just using a single dodge, right? So go on the wall, jump down, and snap into the ground with a single dodge. Your car instantly gets pushed into a faster speed than what it was, right? So look at that. There's 100 different ways you can use wave dashing to recover. You could even be backwards, jump, and recover with a half flip off a wave dash. I would really suggest, if I was a player, learning to wave dash, jumping around the field, and getting used to all the mechanics of how to get around the field faster. Tip number 6, it is called the wave dash kickoff. This is getting more into the intermediate gameplay, guys. This happened against me. This is pro player card in 1v1s. Players are doing it in 1s, 2s, and 3s because watch how he recovers faster than me. He jumps, He single jumps into it. That way he holds his dodge. Me, I'm still in the air, snaps to the ground, and instantly has possession over me, right? AJ, a pro player AJ on Optic Gaming, told me, what you want to do is right when you get into the final circle, you want to single jump into the ball, and then it keeps your car not getting too high, and then you can recover instantly. So on this one, I tried countering his wave dash kickoff, but at the time, I didn't realize you had to jump right when you get into the center circle. Well, just watch his recovery, and look how quick it is. I mean, that's insane. The wave dash kickoff is very important, and you guys need to learn it at every kickoff. The next tip I have at higher level, this is for people that can start getting comfortable in the air, is how to flip reset. It's when you go to the air and you somehow connect either your all four wheels to the ceiling or to the ball. And what this does is it allows you to have another dodge so that you can use it later. If you are a new player and you are starting to get good in the air and more comfortable, I would really suggest on going in the air and constantly practice on getting a flip reset. And nowadays, players aren't even just using the reset to throw it on net. Nowadays, players are getting to the point where they're so smart where they just hold it, they fake it, and don't use it. And then the defender, is over here just jumping, trying to guess if they're going to use it. This becomes a serious mind game because now you're thinking, is he going to shoot the ball with his dodge, or is he going to fake it and I just sit here and I don't know what to do? When I was still on the come up and trying to become a pro before I signed my first pro contract, I was always trying to learn, is like, dude, how are these guys so fast around the field? And I remember asking like pro players in six mans and stuff, what are you doing to like improve your speed of play? And a big thing is they were like, oh, I just hold boost down in free play because it helps me play faster, right? And a lot of people hate free play, but go in free play and drive around and just focus on hitting the ball in ways that like make you uncomfortable. And it's going to get to the point where it becomes muscle memory, and everything you're doing is going to help you improve your game and speed of play. Tip number 9 for you guys is boost management. So when you're playing in tournaments or even in ranked games, you get caught up in the moment, and next thing you know, you're driving around just picking up boost and you're not using your boost the correct way. The top level pros in the world, they only are boosting when they need to. Someone like First Killer or Zen, they will literally drive, they'll have 0 boost, right? They'll rotate on defense, pick up their boost, their team's in the attack. Then once they get the ball and it comes to them, they'll have all their boost to make a play and go for an aerial play, right? So I think the best way to go about this is pick up the boost and just don't use it until it's your time to make a play. I think that's the easiest way to look at it. Tip number 10 I have for you guys is finding a boost path that makes sense to you. The best players in the world, let's say they're rotating for defense and the mid boost isn't there. They don't always go back for that boost because it can give up possession for your team. So if I'm on defense and I'm rotating back and that boost, the big boost isn't there, they'll turn and they'll pick up a few pennies and stay in the play. And next thing you know, you've picked up 30 some boost, 40 boost, and you're still in the play with your team. Now on defense, let's say you're getting boost starved. The best players will find these penny boosts around. So let's say a player is getting ready to air drag the wall up your corner. They're going to pick up 1, 2, 3 boost, and they're going to turn to net. Next thing you know, they have like 30 some boosts again, right? So let's say another example. Let's say my teammate's rotating back and I know they're going to need the corner boost on defense. And I'm already on like 30 boosts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around here and I'm going to leave that boost for him. And I'm going to pick up this penny, and I'm going to challenge the ball in the corner. Make sure you have a good boost path on offense and defense because it will help you with the speed of play and staying in the play and making it easier for your team. Number 11, challenging the ball. It's to the point that even pros at the highest level can lose their team a series because they're bad challenges. It doesn't always mean having to challenge the ball. Let's say, for example, you're playing 2s or 3s. Sometimes the best thing to do is literally driving up, getting close to them, and then turning around and forcing them to flick the ball because it makes them hesitate to think that someone's going to dive on me and challenge the ball. The only time you really want to challenge as if you're trying to get aggressive that you can take more of a risk is if you're a first man in 3v3. 2v2 is all about playing safe and not throwing yourself out of the play because then your teammate's instantly in a 1v1 if you dive. In 3v3, if you're the first person challenging, you know there's 2 people behind you, that is the only time it's kind of acceptable to throw yourself into a challenge and give yourself less of a chance to hit it, but you're trying to keep the ball in, so you're playing more risky. In 3v3, if you're the second person, there's only 1 person behind you, make sure you are not diving out of the play because that will cause your team a good chance to get scored on. Tip number 12 for you guys is how to challenge a flip reset, or when someone's holding a reset and they have that dodge. I know Chicago from G2 Esports always says you got to play ball every time on defense. If you're trying to challenge a reset, the best way to go about it is literally take away the opponent's car and just play the reset at the ball where you see it going in the air. If the opponent dives to the ball and they instantly use the reset and flip it above you, then your defender should be ready for the ball that's going high up in the air. The defender shouldn't be able to get the ball below you. The only thing they should be able to do is get it above you, and that's if they use their reset instantly and flick it above you. Tip number 11 I have for you guys is so important that I can't even put enough on it. It's playing 1v1s. I remember when I first started playing 1v1s, I was on Xbox, and I got the highest rank in Rocket League. I would go play 2v2s with my friends, and every single time it felt like I knew when a defender was challenging at lower level, because I was so much ahead of the game on how to read defenders in 1v1s that in 2v2s all these people do is they just fly at the ball, and I would constantly flick it over one because they win fake challenge and know when they're beat. The issue with 1v1s is like it's a love-hate thing, because when you're winning it's awesome, but when you're losing you only can blame yourself, right? It's all about learning and what you can do and testing your abilities, and the best way to go about that is 1v1s. Tip number 14 I have for you guys is watching people who are better than you. I remember years ago I was watching a Squishy stream when he used to stream all the time, and I remember I would see him go for these like angles that I didn't even know was possible, or he wouldn't challenge a ball that I was always challenging. So what did I do? I would take that from his game and put it into my game, and I would just keep using those reps until I understood. I was like, oh, now it makes sense why he's doing this. Literally what other people are doing that you don't see yourself doing, add into your game. Nowadays, people are downloading replays of other pros and they're seeing what they do. Pros are watching other pros' replays all the time. So if you're at a lower level and you don't think replays are valuable, just think of why are pros doing it. Tip number 15 for you guys, the final one, is play these in-game tournaments, man. Try to make the game as much enjoyable as you can and give yourself something to play for. Let's say you get to a high level and you get to that GC level, SSL. I know it's like, damn, I kind of already played for everything. I got the highest rank in the game. The game is just beginning when you get to the highest level. So I would focus on winning those SSL in-game tournaments, and then I would focus on the big stuff, which is like trying to get top 100 in these ranked playlists. Once you get to a high level, I think the hardest thing is finding ways to keep playing that keep you motivated. And nowadays, there's also things called 6-mans, which is these private 3v3 lobbies that give you an opportunity to play with people at around your level, and you can kind of improve. If I'm giving my honest opinion, I think playing ranked is more important than those 6-mans, because it gets your name out there, and if you're on the leaderboards, you have a better chance of people recognizing you than playing 6-mans.